Callum has bruises on his arms, finger marks. Someone has been hurting him. I've asked him, demanded really, to know where he got the marks. But he doesn't want to answer me. Something has scared him into silence. He doesn't dare talk. He's been changing too. Something sinister lurks in the darkness behind his eyes. I catch him staring at me at odd moments. In the night, he tosses and turns and cries out words that I cannot understand. When I try to soothe him, he snaps and bites at my fingers. I think he wants to talk to me. I think he wants to tell me. But they are watching him every minute of every day. They are whispering to him in his sleep, changing him. They are taking my baby away from me. I can save him. There will be pain. But I love him, and in the end, he will understand why. This isn't a game, Callum! Oh, God, no.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, I am SocioPsycho, and this is Mob Reviews, and today we're going to look at The Park. This was created by Funcom for PC, and it is a adventure game. Of course, that description really stretches the genre of what is considered an adventure game. It's better categorized as a walking simulator, although that really doesn't sound the same flair, now does it? And it is a psychological thriller. Not really a horror game in its sense, because there's no surviving against something that is going to try to kill you. So it is more of a spook mentality, such as what was that bristling in the forest? Is that the wind on the trees? Is there something creeping up behind me, or just the leaves rustling? Rather than, I know there's a man with a chainsaw running around here somewhere. So how well does it handle being a walking simulator, and does it have a story that is strong enough to allow us to overlook that baseline? Now we're going to begin in the settings, as I actually found the video quality of the game to be quite enriched. You have a large variation of screen resolutions and quality for the display of the style of graphic capability. The graphics in the game were definitely nice, they definitely hit the artistic art style that they were going for. Overall, it just flushed well together. I do appreciate that they have a field of view slider with a toggle number. The audio in the game is split between music, sound, and voice acting. I would prefer different sliders rather than just one, as sometimes the vocal audio might be a little low in comparison to some of the environment sounds. The game is meant for headphones, so that can be based on a person-to-person, thus even more importance of having different sound sliders. In the gameplay, you have simple mouse choices, anything all that amazing, as there really is no need for rebinding of keys, as it's just move around and use your mouse, WASD and left and right mouse button. The game has also been running at 60 frames per second with no tearing, clipping, or crashing. Performance-wise, it's gone off without a hitch. So when we jump into the game, the first thing we're going to talk about is the story. The game itself is actually pretty short, which is a little unfortunate for the price that they are asking. It's about an hour long, and you'll get most 70 to 80% of the achievements for the first playthrough. So there is maybe a little bit, another hour if you're an achievement hunter. But for the average people, you're looking about 1 to 2 hours at best for a game that is roughly around $10 to $12. So with that stacked against it, how well does the story handle? And I will admit that the story in this game is phenomenal. The element of how the story is laid out, the voice acting, the overall feel and immersion that you get into the world upon hearing the female character you play as, who lost her child in this haunted amusement park, calling out to her child, and her voice crackling and changing as she's calling out and getting more worried throughout the game, really helps connect you to the character that you're playing as, and makes you feel worried to a point that what is going to happen? The annoying aspect of the continuational build-up is that while the story really hits on the key points of the atmospheric impressiveness, a dark, haunted, confusing theme park, there are certain flaws in the story upon why you mount these different rides. Now you're looking for your child, and as you progress through the theme park, little story snippets of background lore do present themselves as you, say, get on a Ferris wheel or some other theme park ride. But you're not getting on these rides because you think your child's on a ride or you're checking the rides for your child, and there's no motion or real push in that story. It seems as if you're just getting on these rides in order to ride them without any real correlation. It doesn't add anything to a horror sense or theme of a game, and it feels actually a little outside of the main theme of a game, which is looking for your child. But I will give credit where credit is due, and the story that they have in the game really is quite thrilling. The voice acting that is done is just phenomenal. I'll let you hear it for yourself now.
Where's Mr. Bear?
I haven't seen Mr. Bear, Callum. Stay in the car. I'll go and ask information. Scars our insides. The first time I saw Callum, my thoughts betrayed me. I looked down at this wrinkled, red, bawling thing and I thought, is that it? We build our world from expectations, and the world that I had built for Callum was no different. He was so real, so there, and so far from my expectations. And they shattered, and as they fell in pieces, that one treacherous thought became a new foundation. All of the love that we shared, all of the warmth and goodness that followed, built on a single, traitorous thought.
But a short game, shorter than a movie, for a $10 to $12 price point, definitely needs more than just that. And this is why earlier I said the adventure aspect is really stretched, because when we come to think of an adventure genre, we don't think just, let's go walk and explore. That's why there's a difference in between survival and explorational games and adventure games, which are point and click, or puzzle-based games. There is always some crossover, but in here, it really doesn't have much exploration or any puzzle elements. The exploration that you come across is not you exploring the theme park to find your child. You have to go through a theme park. That's the whole point. You're not, here is the open world, go explore. Your whole point of being here is to find your kid. So the exploration that they have in the game is to park ride. And in between these park rides, there are little story snippets, but there's no puzzles. There's no hints or tricks or anything else that you need to be clever or guile about in order to progress forward. And there's not even an explorational element such as find a collectible or find something that gives you eventually an achievement or something like that, which falls down to the gameplay of the game itself being very limited. And this is where the game falls short. The gameplay. The game has a darker, psychological, menacing feel to it, where it will keep you on edge. And it was obviously created by sane people because they don't take it far enough. It goes to a point in the creation where the storytelling you can't turn back from. It has a darker theme. It has an underlying sense of spookiness. You can't go back from that. Those are woven into the very foundation of the game. But they didn't go far enough with it. They didn't add that little extra dash of horror or thriller or doom upon your life being threatened. As there is no gameplay, there is no stealth, there is no finding how to progress through the next zone, just walk and progress through the next zone. Now this is not a damnation of the game because of that, as a walking simulator can be enjoyable at times because it can hit a really good narration-led experience. But the games that lead a walking simulator in a strong narrational experience also have puzzles or the option of choice. You don't have either of those here, and it leaves it strictly to walking around and being told what is happening with an ever-increasing spook meter without anything negative ever going to happen to you. So at the end of the day, I'm really contested about this game because it did draw me in a little bit. It did say, wow, look at this story. It really is something to think about. It's really something to sit back and enjoy. But playing the game was atrocious. It felt repetitive in some aspects. It didn't respect the player's time. It did everything it really could to try to slow the player down through the reusage of certain materials or forcing the player out of a run mechanic to a walk mechanic to try to make up for the fact that they don't have any gameplay. As a story itself, it's good. It leaves you at the end wondering what's going to happen, where's the rest, what's more, and dives into some psychological questions. But as far as gameplay goes, even though it's a short game for about an hour, halfway through you're already saying, oh my god, is this over already? Are we done yet? Because the gameplay is just very poorly done. So I guess it falls down to the fact that if you don't mind no gameplay whatsoever, zero gameplay in your game, and a strong vocally voiced narrational experience is all that you need, and you're feeling like getting spooked, then okay, go for it. But if you're hoping for a horror game, if you're hoping for some sort of adventure in your genre of adventure game, if you're hoping to have some interaction or weight within the world you're at, or even hoping for a story to conclude at the end rather than leave it open, then this is not the game for you. And on gameplay alone, I cannot recommend it. For story, I would say maybe just watch a Let's Player that you really like if they get around to it. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said in the beginning, I am split on this game. Doesn't mean that it's necessarily bad, but it doesn't have the things to make it amazing. I hope, even though there hasn't been a definite, this is good, this is bad, this video has still been of help to you. I have been SocioPsycho, this has been Mob Reviews, and I'll see you next time.